What is going on, guys? We have my RX8 here in the shop, and we're going to do a quick project today. I am going to do a carbon fiber sort of overlay on the roof. Basically, we're going to clean it up, prep it, fix this big dent that we have here with some Bondo, and then we're going to lay carbon over it, pull that carbon off, cut most of the roof away, and then just rivet like a frog. Rivet the carbon right over top. It's not the best way to do it. There will be a visible edge, but this isn't a show car. We're not building this one for SEMA, and it'll be lighter and not have a sunroof and not have a big gaping hole where the sunroof should be. And we'll probably save 50 or more pounds from the top of the car, which is very important. And also, it'll have sort of a visible edge, so you'll be able to see where the sunroof was. But again, I don't care. It'll do its job. So let's get started. Now here we are with the Bondo laid onto the dent, and then that is the clay stuff, which that stuff kind of sucks, but it's basically called clean clay, and that's just to fill in the cracks so nothing gets in there and won't let us pop the panel off. So now what I'm going to do is tape up these edges with the PET tape, which is that weird plastic tape I've used. Packing tape would probably work well also, but I have the PET tape, so whatever. Outside of the PET, I'm gonna do masking tape and then basically just cover everything in case we get any drips. I'm gonna try not to drip any resin outside of the panel that we're doing. And then we can spray some PVA. All right, now we are all masked up and we are going to shoot some PVA. I forget the exact number of layers. I think it's like 3 or 4. Maybe it doesn't really matter. Make the first one kind of light, of course, and then spray it a little heavier. For spraying the PVA, I'm using the old Harbor Freight HVLP gun. Sorry, it's a lot of focus right now, but yeah, Harbor Freight HVLP, and I just leave the PVA in there like all the time, and it's fine. Sometimes the tip gets a little clogged, and then you just rub it with some water. That's water soluble, and it's good to go. So let's shoot it. Now I sprayed on a bunch of layers, probably at least 5 layers of PVA, mostly because I was reading and they said porous surfaces, which is very much fresh Bondo, need more very wet layers just to make sure it doesn't stick. So you want it to be nice, a nice gloss to it. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you know, just about like that. That should work for me. Now I gotta let it dry. You wanna make sure it's not tacky at all. And you can just feel, you know, outside of your area. Make sure it's not tacky. And then we can lay down the carbon fiber. And here's the carbon fiber I cut. There's 12K, there's 3 layers of 12K weave, and then 1 layer of like a standard twill. And the twill gives you the cool carbon fiber look, and then those build up quicker and give you some more strength. Yeah, so we're gonna lay down the 3 of those and then 1 of these, and it'll be good. Now right here you can see I have all 4 layers on top of each other. I definitely shouldn't have done that. I kind of fucked up there. It was really hard to get the resin to soak all the way to the bottom, which you will see later on. Basically just squeegeeing it back and forth, trying to get the resin like powered through down to the bottom layers and get everything wetted up. I could have resolved it by using more resin, but that just adds more weight. It's still a pain in the ass. Yeah, I'll have to try to figure out a way how to get the layers on there one at a time, even though it's kind of difficult in this setup. For smaller parts, it's no big deal. You can lay the layers on top and move them around as needed. But for this, I knew it would have been difficult to stack the layers after the fact, so had to do it this way. Used about 700 grams of resin, maybe a little bit more than that, and it did the job. And then, yeah, just squeegeeing it back and forth. There, Corey is playing with the fiberglass roller, and that just helps squeeze the air bubbles out of there. And basically, you just keep doing this for forever and ever and ever. Just keep going. When it looks white, the white is the air bubbles in the resin, so you just keep squeegeeing it until you stop getting the white resin, and then you're good to go. Now with the resin all cured, it is the next morning. We're gonna try to pop it off, and I have these wedges. Basically, we're gonna get those under. Seems to be doing pretty well. This area right here I'm a little worried about with the Bondo. We'll see. There it is. Now we can just trim it up and cut the roof away. Now once we popped the carbon off of it, we can remove all the tape and plastic. And this is how the PVA ends up. Literally just a thin film of plastic. But all this can come up. If you're trying to save your roof, all this PVA, anything that you can't peel up, which hopefully you can, that means you did it thick enough. But if not, it's water soluble, so you can just scrub it with a wet rag and it'll come right up. But we can get all this out of the way.
There shouldn't be a key.
And then on the back side of this, we're a little dry in some spots, so we're just gonna epoxy this whole side, let it dry, and then flip it over and do the outside of it. Now I got the sunroof pulled out, and now I'm gonna go ahead and cut most of the roof away and leave about a 1 or 2 inch flange on each edge, which will just give me a spot to rivet and seal it to. And then we can slap on the, or we still gotta finish up the carbon roof, and then we can slap that on. Yo, this is fucking dope.
What?
Honestly, fuck.
Oh my god.
Fuck the carbon.
Bro, no, this is badass as fuck.
Now I got the roof all chopped off and all the parts have ended up right here. We got the sunroof and we got the regular roof and then we got a bunch of random scraps and stuff. I've weighed everything out and it totaled to be 53 pounds, which is pretty fucking good off the top of the car. We will be adding back, I'd say about 5 to 10 if that. Also pulled the curtain airbags because, you know, fuck those. And then I got bored and I pulled the rear crash bar and this piece, the hood support, underside of the hood. And those two came out to be 16 pounds. So that put the total at 69 pounds.
Nice.
So I'm heading to Dunkin' Donuts. I had to take the car with the roof off, but it's pretty tight. Honestly, I like it. This is gangster. Got me a fucking Cali rag top in this bitch. Now in my carbon fiber / eBay photo room, it is currently cooking. Feels like it's like 90 degrees in here, maybe more. I put 2 layers of resin on this side, and then I put 1 layer on the underside earlier, let that cure. Still a little bit tacky, so we'll let that cure. It'll probably have to cure overnight, and then we can sand it. And hopefully it won't need recoated, because I did apply a pretty good layer. So that'll get sanded and then polished or something, and then we can get it on the car. Now here it is all trimmed up and sanded. I started sanding it with 220 and then I worked up to 320 and then 400. There's still a couple little divots and stuff, but it's a race car, not a show car. So now I'm gonna spray some clear on it and see how it looks. Alright, now with the roof cut out, I applied some of this stuff, which is DAP Dynaflex Ultra. It is black and it'll help seal up the edges, and then I'm going to rivet it. And there's the final product of the roof for now. So now I can set it on here carefully, press it down, and start doing all the rivets. And I got the sides all riveted. I didn't rivet the front or the back because I didn't have enough material. Where I cut the carbon and where I cut the roof were like very close. So I have clearance here, but I started getting really close right here and I didn't want to have like uneven rivets. And same thing with the front. But I got the carbon laid, riveted down, and then I did this the silicone stuff on the outside. I'm still going to clean it up just a little bit, but there it is. In certain lighting, you could really see how fucked up it is, but from a distance, it's all right. And it was a little test piece, practice piece. Now I know I need to focus more on the sanding and getting everything smoother before I clear coat it. And I can still go back and re-sand this, re-resin it if I have to, and then clear coat it again and get it smoother, but this is good enough for now for this car, so that'll work for me. But thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe, and thanks for watching.